Hey guys, we're back, and it's been a while since I did my review of RWBY Combat Ready. It was a couple of years ago now, and I finally got my hands on the Combat Ready expansion of the Team Juniper expansion, which adds 4 new playable characters to the game, and we're going to get in and take a look at this new content for RWBY, and talk about how well it integrates with the base game, and what I think about it. Anyway, let's get right in and take a look. So as you can see here, it's kind of a mess, and that's because I store everything in the big Combat Ready box because the insert does not support sleeved cards, which really drives me nuts because there's plenty of room to support sleeved cards in there, and they just chose not to. So maybe it's an oversight. Rooster Teeth's kind of new to games, but Arcane Wonders should have known better. But aside from that, we're going to get right in and look. Drawback to this, I think, is that it only contains the 4 characters. Their player decks, their semblance markers, and their boards. There were no new villains, no new minions, no new scenarios, or any of that kind of stuff, which seems like a loss to me. They could have thrown a couple of new things in there, especially some stuff from the later seasons. So that kind of seems like a lost opportunity there, but we'll get into what is here. First off, we have the player boards, and I will say that these are the nice dual layer boards with the recessed spots for the cubes that were in the advanced, I guess, versions of the Combat Ready game. The Kickstarter versions were shipped originally with that perfectly flat board, and then they shipped out later on these recessed ones. So they're very nice. They have full character art on the back. And then, like I said, the recesses in here for the cubes. They do have some weird, like, residue on there. I don't know if it's drips of glue from when they glued the 2 boards together, but it doesn't hurt anything. But yeah, you can see it on there. It's on all of them too. So I'm not sure what that is, but I guess first up we will start with Jaune. And we have his semblance aura amp. Jaune may use his semblance marker to heal target ally for 1 aura. Jaune may pay any amount of aura to increase this healing by the same amount. Afterward, if the ally is at full aura, then refresh their semblance marker. Jaune's semblance marker refreshes at the beginning of each duel. So it allows him to basically spend his aura to heal someone else. Definitely an interesting and useful ability there. Fits his role as a support character. These don't exactly lay flat either. Maybe it's just because of the way I had them stored. We'll get to his deck in just a minute. His character is blue. You have the crescent here. Then we have his model. I don't know how well the detail will come out on the camera here because it's an odd color. I'm actually impressed with the detail on the models. Normally for games like this, especially from, well, I guess Arcane Wonders isn't a smaller company, but Rooster Teeth and things, they kind of skimp out on the miniatures, but they seem to be pretty well detailed. I'm actually impressed on how the sword isn't bent, considering it's made out of this softer, flexible material. A lot of times when you get miniatures from the that are made out of stuff like that, they're kind of bent. So, impressed with that. They did make the bases just a fraction, maybe a millimeter bigger than the original ones, which really doesn't serve any purpose other than being annoying in the insert that I made. That has little slots for them to sit down in, and they're very tight. Onto Jaune's combat deck here. I don't know if I went through every one of these on the original game. I'm probably not going to go through all of them in this. But there's his ultimate. Radiant Dawn. Does 3 damage. To interrupt a bash, it also heals 1 aura and gains 4 XP. And then we have more healing. Mostly support stuff here. The attack gains speed and damage. When used as a combo or as an assist, it allows them to draw a card. Deflection gives them a big bonus to speed and damage. Ignores ranged attacks if used in an attack as an assist. Heal someone. Then we have a couple combat attacks. So he's pretty much a support character. He does have some cool stuff in here. But again, on the slower side. As you see those 10s in there. This is a cool thing I like that they changed. The tier 2 cards now have a bronze border. And these are your upgraded versions. Then you get to your tier 3 cards. They have a silver border. It makes it much easier to find what you're looking for. There's even an upgrade to the ultimate. And then the tier 4 cards have a gold border. Very cool the way that they did that. And again, sorry if I went through all of the cards in the original. I figured to go through just a handful to get an idea of what each character is like for this one. Next we have Nora. Nora's semblance is high voltage. She can use her semblance marker to gain +2 damage to any of her melee attacks. Nora's semblance marker refreshes when one of her attacks gains speed from an assist or semblance, or if she's hit by an enemy ranged attack. Nora may only use her semblance once per round. So definitely an offensive character, which is kind of fitting. Nora's color is pink. Very hard to see the detail on there, but I think I colored the ones from the original set. I can't remember. On to Nora's miniature. She has less of an action pose than all the other guys. There is a little bit of warping on her handle to her hammer there. I think I would have liked the pose where she's standing on the hammer and pulled the trigger. That would have been kind of cute, but not bad overall. Again, quite a bit of detail for being the kind of game it is. They're not technically a miniatures game where you would expect a lot of detail out of things. Onto her cards, we have Mountain Splitter as her ultimate, 4 damage, which is nice. Interrupt, bash. For the rest of for the first round of the next duel, Nora's attack deals +2 damage, and Nora gains a total of 3 XP. That's pretty awesome. So we got a nice attack here. It deals damage. The active player gains flurry or fury. Got another attack here. This one, if it does not hit, she suffers damage. This one has your 2 bonus. You can gain a bonus to speed if you're attacking. Otherwise, if you're assisting, you can heal. If the attack hits, all players draw a card. It's very offensive based, which you would expect from the character. Although the artwork just does not strike me as Nora. I don't know what about it. Something seems off. I mean, that one's not so bad, but some of the other close-ups just do not look like her. Unavoidable. That one's pretty cool. So yeah, she has a good variety, mostly offensive combat spells like you would expect. So again, we have the bronze border on the tier 2s. The silver border for the tier 3s. and the gold border on the tier 4s. Then we go on to Pyrrha. Her semblance is polarity. Hero may exhaust her semblance marker to give any hero +1 attack speed and -1 damage. Reduces to a minimum of 1 damage. Pyrrha's semblance marker is refreshed by giving any enemy attack -1 speed +1 damage. Pyrrha's semblance may either be activated or refreshed only once per round. I'll move this off to the side. And we have Pyrrha's model. Again, pretty good detail on there. I am a little annoyed that she's red, but I wouldn't know what other color you would use, because her colors in the show I think are red and gold. But it conflicts with RWBY being the red character, so now there's 2 red characters in the game. And then her semblance marker. It's the red shield in her spear. Her ultimate is Victory Rush, 3 damage, interrupt bash. At the beginning of the next duel, Pyrrha may discard up to 4 cards and then draw the same number of cards, gain 3 XP. So it lets you refresh your hand basically and get different cards. So maybe you have some that aren't going to be as useful. You can cycle them out and get better cards. Onto her starting deck. I'm pretty sure she's going to be pretty offensive as well. That's the that's the feel I get from her, though. It's more offensive stuff again. Some high damage cards in here, which are nice. Yeah, those high damage cards also come with that low initiative, which kind of puts you in the middle of the road. And our tier 2 copper cards. Tier 3 silver cards. And the tier 4 gold. And that's just a beastly, her tier 4 ultimate. And then finally we have Ren. His semblance is tranquility. He may use his semblance marker to reduce the speed on an enemy attack by 2. If that attack misses, Ren gains 1 XP. Ren's semblance marker refreshes whenever he uses a rest action. So a lot more people, originally Yang was the only one who had an oddball rule for their refreshing of their semblance. Now I think all of these guys have different special rules for it. Here we have Ren. Cool action pose. Again, not too bad. There's a little bit of bend on the pistols, but they're very, won't even focus, they're very, very thin. So you would expect that. And that's actually the blade on the bottom of his pistol that are bent like that. And Ren has green as his semblance marker. His ultimate is Death Blossom, 3 damage, interrupt bash, refresh friendly summons marker, and he gains 4 XP. So that's kind of nice. Then we have his basic attacks, and he's kind of a combination of attack and some decent assist things that are going to boost enemies or allies. Target ally +1 damage this round. Healing an ally. And on to Ren's other cards, his bronze tier 2s. The silver tier 3s. There are some interesting ones in here. And the gold tier 4s. Some really interesting things in here. And that tier 4 ultimate upgrade. So that's a look at everybody that comes in the Team Juniper expansion for RWBY Combat Ready. Overall, we've got 2 decent full aggressive combaters. We've got 1 in between kind of support combat guy, and then 1 that's mainly support and healing focused. It's a decent team overall. You can mix and match these, of course, with the members of RWBY and come up with some very interesting combos. Overall, I like the expansion. I think it adds a lot of fun to the base game. I'm just a little disappointed that it did not come with any new scenario setups or anything, or no new minions or any of that kind of stuff, mini bosses or whatever. Could have had some cool villains from later seasons of the show, and they would have added a lot of cool stuff you could do to the base game. So it seems like they kind of skimped on it overall, but it's worth it to have 4 new playable characters to mix in with the 5 you already have, and can mix and match to make some interesting teams. If you're a fan of RWBY Combat Ready, then you probably already have this because it's been out for a little while. It just took me some time to get my hands on it. If you're just finding out about the show or the game and you're looking for it, the base game comes with Team RWBY as well as Penny, and then these 4 characters get added onto those, so you can mix and match any of those to come up with some really interesting teams to combat the various villains and bad guys in the world of RWBY. Well, that's going to wrap it up for our look at the RWBY Combat Ready expansion Team Juniper. Hope it helps you decide if it's something you're interested in. And check back, watch the original video to see about the base game and the girls who came in that. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.